Consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here in studio with best-selling author Coach Pete D'Arruda. Coach, how are you doing?
Great, Thomas. How are you?
I am doing very well. Excited to get into the topic. Now listen to this. Some
people don't realize what that means.
Yeah.
That means there's way too many dollars out there for way too many things to buy. And so here's why it happened. With government getting almost everything we buy, even used cars. Almost everything we buy, even used cars. There are less few cars out there. There's a lot more dollars chasing the used cars around. And I've dumped a used car in the market myself. I made a lot more money on a Honda Civic that I bought my daughter 2 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
I gave her a Jeep instead, and I made money.
I love it. I love it. I will be there soon enough. I will be there soon enough.
So this is not good, though. This is not good in the long run at all for anyone. You know, a lot of people like me just brag that I made more money selling a used car. So what? I'm getting punished all over the place. When I go to the food store, when I go to the appliance store, when I go any store, I'm paying a lot more than I should.
Okay, well tell us, how can we develop that inflation shield then?
Yeah, well, we used to call it an inflation protected plan. It still is, but we need to make sure that our money is at least earning up to what inflation is. We're trying to earn. If you have money buried under a pillow, you're earning zero, and if inflation is admittedly 8%, I think it's higher than that, you are losing 8%.
Plans out there, but you don't have a retirement plan unless you have streams. Plans out there, but you don't have a retirement plan unless you have streams of lifetime income that's guaranteed. I like more than one stream. And of course, Social Security, that's a stream of income. It's an annuity offered by the government. Everyone gets Social Security. But we need our own personal annuities. We need to ensure our retirement. And it's great to look at these gigantic $1 million balances in the stock market. They're fun. It is fun to grow your money, and we want the market to grow. But we also want to preserve the money we've already taken all those years where we didn't do stuff to save. What good is it to save money to watch it disappear before you can spend it? So let's put some of the money in a place we can outlive and put those in streams of income account.
With Bitcoin, though, every time you do a transaction, it goes all the way to the beginning, follows the chain all the way up, and puts your transaction way over here.
Wow.
On Ethereum, it goes back to the last time on the node, and it adds it right there going forward. So it's a lot faster on Ethereum. Now, both Ethereum and Bitcoin have pretty good transactional fees. Bitcoin calls it a transaction fee, and Ethereum calls it a gas fee.
Gas fee, yeah.
And that goes up and down depending on the surge, how many people are using it at the same time.
Yeah.
So there are some ones that don't charge a fee or minimal fees, but then you have to build trust with them. The only one I really trust that doesn't charge a fee is one called Nano, N-A-N-O. They're a non-profit crypto, sort of like Red Hat was back in the day for technology.
Right.
And they don't charge a transaction fee because there's nobody there to feed. It's a self-running program, but its main purpose is from peer-to-peer buying and selling. Cost of a loaf of bread, gas.
Income bucket. So bucketing strategy.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you watching know that Coach Pete is and has been on television and radio for a very, very, very long time.
Over 20 years.
And we talk bucketing strategy a lot, but here you're talking about it in terms of taxation.
It's so much easier to understand your money when you can break it down into piles or buckets.
Yeah.
All right, so there's three main buckets when we're talking about taxation. We've got the taxable bucket. That's money that, like when you get a paycheck, it's taxable.
Sure,
taxable money.
Yeah.
If you have a CD at the bank, it's usually taxable, so that's taxable. We have the tax deferred bucket. That's where you earn interest, but you don't pay the taxes until you take the money out down the road. So like your IRAs are tax deferred.
Okay, yeah.
You got to put money in, you got to reduce your taxable income when you put the money in, but when you take the money out, you have to increase your taxable income because you have to pay tax on it. Then the most important bucket, the most overlooked bucket, the bucket that is usually not filled up, is the tax-free bucket.
Yeah.
That means when you take the money out, it comes out tax-free. When you pass away, it goes tax-free to your next of kin. This is the Roth IRA that you hear about. This is life insurance. If designed the right way, you can get a tax-free income from your life insurance policy through your life, and then when you pass away, a tax-free death benefit will go to your beneficiaries, your family. Very, very important. Or your churches or charity.
That's powerful.
We had somebody, he instead of giving to the church every week, he told the pastor he was going to use that money and buy a life insurance policy with it. So that when he passed away, he left $1 million to the church tax-free.
I bet they were happy about that.
See, I mean, that's a creative way right there. It made a lot of sense.
It is.
So if you turn the tax law upside down, it can be your best friend. If you have it as it is now and don't really pay attention to it, it's going to be your worst enemy.
It's good.
So we have something money control you.
Very good. The time to act is now.
Control you.
Very good. The time to act is now, folks. Call that number you see.
All right, red money, yellow money, green money in retirement.
Amanda is making sure you have a lifetime of income that when you approach retirement, you can never outlive that.
So if someone already has a retirement plan in place and they haven't revisited it in a long time, it's time to sit down with you, right, and say, hey, what are my goals? Where am I headed? Maybe they don't trust the financial person that they're with now.
You ever drive down the road, Amanda, and you go through that pothole, and you do it every day for the longest time, and so you know how to avoid it, but then you look in your rearview mirror and day for the longest time, and so you know how to avoid it, but then you look in your rearview mirror and see other people hitting it? Well, retirement.
Wealth Coach. Welcome, Coach Pete.
Great to see you, Tommy.
So, Pete, I know a little bit about your background. The audience doesn't, so fill us in on how you got to where you are.
Well, I have 33 years in the financial arena now. Gosh, time flies, doesn't it? It seems like just yesterday. I started working with teachers in the 90s, showing them how to save money tax deductible or put it away before taxes come out in the 403B, federal 403B program, helping them save for retirement. Tom, then they started to retire. And I said, gosh, I need to know how to help them the rest of the way. So I got my Retirement Income Certified Professional designation from the American College, which teaches me and taught me how to make sure that people never run out of money in retirement.
Here we are, the big book on retirement. I'm Thomas Lipscomb here with Coach Pete D'Arruda, going chapter by chapter through the book, getting some behind the scenes knowledge and wisdom. And you're here for chapter 2, so let's dive right in. The chapter is called Learn the Rules. And you got a quote here at the top.
Be in a lot worse situation if you don't follow the money rules.
Yeah, it's true. We've talked about people who have had excessive penalties more than they needed to, or maybe just not optimizing things properly just because they didn't understand the rules. I do, because the tax, how big are these books that with the rules in them? You know, it's a lot in there.
I had a conversation with my daughter the other day because Daddy pays for her credit card each month. She's at college right now, and I noticed she was doing a lot of these food deliveries. And Daddy had a conversation with her about how when Daddy was in school, he bought one loaf of bread and peanut butter and jelly and basically lived off that. He didn't pay delivery fees. So I said, you're a young girl. There's a snack bar right in the first floor of her dorm.
Oh, okay.
Said, walk down there and buy the snacks. Don't have someone bring it to your door because then you have to pay delivery fee and you got to tip people. So, you know, when you're paying everybody else money, it's hard to build money. And, you know, the people that understand money and have a lot of money are the ones that did smart money decisions going forward.
It's true.
Because anytime money goes out, you have to work extra hard just to bring it back in. She doesn't because it's Daddy's money. Daddy doesn't like his money going out there. I have a limit now. It's a pretty good limit, though, but each month for her. But and I'm not being a mean dad. I'm just saying it's okay to eat that way every now and then, but don't do it all the time because that's a money evil. They're trying to steal money from you, and they are.
Yeah. That's good.
Paying tips and delivery fees.
I think, you know, my grandma certainly didn't make up the saying, but she used to say a penny saved is a penny earned.
Absolutely.
And I think the word ownership has a lot to do with this conversation as well. You know, just owning your retirement, making the most of it. Nobody else is going to do it for you at the end of the day.
You know, say I used to pick pennies up all the time back in the day. And you could get a piece of candy for 1 penny back in the day. That was pretty cool. So there was no tax on it. You go in and get a penny, you go get a piece of candy.
I love it.
So, but there was a study we did back in the day, and it said if you have a penny and you double it every day for 1 month, 30 days, you'd have over $1 million. If you doubled it. So the next day would be 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents, et cetera. You're up to millions of dollars. I think it was like 10 million by the time 30 days
That's
came.
incredible. That's incredible. I remember seeing
Penny
that
saved
chart.
is a lot of pennies earned.
A lot of pennies earned. I love that.
Yeah.
We're going to allude to compound interest there, which is later on in this here book. But until then, you like that? Until then, though, let's wrap up chapter 2, and folks, get ready for chapter 3. If anything that you've read in here or heard in here has drawn out some questions, and you want to talk to one of Coach Pete's fiduciary planners, just give us a call, text us, communicate with us. We'd be happy to sit down with you and walk you through the goal line.
Yeah.
See you next time.
It's Women and Money, and we luckily have some gals here. I've got Miss Jana, I've got Miss Amanda, I'm Jackie, and we have Coach Pete to keep us on the plan to make sure that we have enough money going through our stages of life. Because you're right, it's not just about, is it? It's not just about retirement.
No, it's about living your life today and doing things you want to do to enjoy your life.
Living your life today without punishing yourself tomorrow. And that's what we do. We can do a plan like that. So you don't have to punish yourself ever.
And so there are a lot of people that say, gosh, I can't have any fun because I need to save this money for retirement. Then you get to retirement, you can't do anything anyway.
Because you don't feel good.
Yeah, here's a fact of life. We get slower as we get older, don't we?
Right. Don't remind me. But through all the ages and stages, I think the important thing is, like, for instance, I'm getting married.
Great. Let's do it.
Next year, but it's been a really big topic in our house because I want to buy, certain things for the wedding. Ryan wants to buy certain things for the wedding. His big things are food and entertainment, and my big things are the dress. Like, I'm not spending $5,000 on a dress. I'm not.
There's no need. There is no need. I wore a very inexpensive gown as well.
Yeah, well, we talked about it.
I wore a very inexpensive gown as well.
Yeah, well, we talked about it in one of our last
I might have just said I like
what
what girl turning into a woman has ever had to worry about a budget.
Okay.
Because a lot of, like the rule is that the parents of the daughter always pay for the wedding. That's what they always say, right? So I'm a parent of 2 daughters, so I'm careful. But see, what Alan has done, my friend whose daughter's getting married, is he put together a absolute budget, like amount.
Okay.
We're not going over 40,000. He said.
Oh,
which is a pretty big budget
That's
if you
pretty
ask
good.
me.
Yes.
So
that's generous.
but
You don't
have to. So even with a 40,
and so I'm not in but to my advice to the people that are in their 20s or early 30s that are doing it, I'm 40 now, is just really look at long term, like, what else could I spend this money on? And for me, it's Jackson's school, and we need to extend the fence in the backyard, and I want to do this to the house.
you can always find a need somewhere to spend money.
as
Can't
opposed
you?
to a
That's not enough
one-day,
money.
4-hour party. Yeah. And I want to invest, and I don't want to be stranded in retirement where I'm like, why didn't I do this?
Well, I've seen some people, they say, well, we want to do a good honeymoon too, but we only have a certain amount of money for the whole wedding. So let's take a little bit away from the wedding and have a really nice honeymoon. Because the honeymoon's more important than anything. The people coming to the wedding are just coming to eat free and drink free.
Amen.
You know that. That's the only reason I go to weddings.
Once you're actually married,
I'll remember that.
Little personal dig here, but once you're married, are you going to blend your accounts, or are you keeping your own bank accounts?
So this is a loaded question because he technically has all of his stuff in Texas, and I have all of my stuff in North Carolina. So it's not something we've figured out yet. And so we'll have to get with Coach and talk about the benefits, the pros and the cons.
You know, the first thing you need is a trust.
Okay.
Because you're a blended family with a child. The trust is the most important thing. Not a will, but a trust. Because you don't want to end up like Cinderella. You don't want Jackson turning, like, if you pass away and all of a sudden he remarries, and all of a sudden Jackson's treated like Cinderella. So you establish a trust.
Amanda's getting a trust today.
I'm getting a trust right now.
We do those trusts, and we have an attorney organization that we utilize to do the trust.
Okay.
But they are a lot more affordable if you do it through us than if you go see an attorney.
Truly interesting.
So
That's such a good one.
We're talking about 60% less.
And there's tax advantages to having the trust, right?
Well, sometimes there's tax advantages. More of a peace of mind.
Okay.
A trust speaks for you even if you're not here anymore. That's what a trust does. A trust is a way to bypass probate. A will is an invitation to probate. Guess how much probate costs? Between 3 and 7% of whatever you have in your estate is lost in probate, plus probate is not private. Trusts are totally private. So that's why trust makes so much more sense. And so, but especially if you have a blended family, especially if you're getting married, everybody really needs some kind of trust or will, but everybody needs that little green book of life. So you can come in and if you come in to see me, I'll give you a copy, but you can buy joint accounts for your bills that you need, the community property, cars, insurance, all the kind of stuff you want to pay for together. But the money you just spend,
Jackie's like, absolutely.
The money you just spend,
Jackie's like, absolutely
no.
No, it makes sense. But again, you have to figure out, and these conversations, unfortunately, are had after the wedding, not before.
It's true. Because people don't like to talk about money, especially women.
Yeah.
It's an awkward, a taboo subject.
But you guys are making 47% of the money worldwide now. So it's time for you guys to be a member of the conversation.
Yeah, and it's not being confrontational.
No.
It's just having the gumption to
get
say,
it down,
hey,
because if you get it down now and no confusion and you understand it completely, then there'll be no. Well, there could be some confrontation in the future, but it won't be because of that money, right? It won't be because of that.
Maybe it should include the wedding plans, a consultation with a financial planner.
Should, like
let's get this thing.
Here we go.
If he can counsel us, right? You go to talk to your clergyman when you're talking about, right?
One course away from being a psychologist, by the way. I had 5 psychology classes too, so it's a lot of psychology when I meet with
psychology of
folks.
money.
There's a big correlation between money and psychology.
Sure, yeah.
Coach, he's the man.
Get in to see Coach Pete.
So that's segment 3. When we come back, we've got 2 more segments here to talk about, episode segment, whatever we want to talk about, but we're going to get into even more detail when we come back. Hey, I'm Coach Pete DeRuda, president of Capital Financial. Folks, the financial world is very, very confusing. That's why we put together a series of educational videos called webinars. You can see them at any time by signing up at CoachPete.com. We'll see you there.
So let's talk crypto. I know it's not in our script, but what are your thoughts around to a total non-believer like me? The Bitcoin could hit $1 million someday. And he said all we're recommending is that our clients put 1% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, because if it goes to zero, that won't hurt you. If it goes to $1 million, you're gonna be happy you did it. Well, that resonated with me.
Awesome resource. I love what you've put into this book, Coach. And we're going to be talking withdrawal strategies specifically for tax optimization. And I just want to throw out a term here that I think a lot of our viewers are going to know. That's the 4% rule. You'll see this written about on CNBC or Fox Business, wherever you're looking. Could you kind of explain what that is and what your view on that is?
Yeah, it was put in by Wall Street a long time ago. It says as long as you only take 4% of your stock account out, you have about a 92% chance of not outliving your money.
Okay.
All right, 92% chance of being okay. You know what I don't like? You've got an 8% chance of being in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't design any plan unless it has a 100% chance of you not being in trouble.
That's good. Yeah.
So I've always held my nose when someone comes in and says, well, my broker says I'll be fine. I say, yeah, you got about a 92% chance of being fine. What if you're in that 8% where you don't? If you got on a plane and the pilot came on the loudspeaker and said, folks, we've got about a 92% chance of landing safely today, who do you think is going to be the first person off that plane?
I'll be right behind you. How about that?
Yeah, you'll be able to do it. But, all right, so, and then they've done some studies and they said, really, you can't call it the 4% rule because a lot of people have run out of money. When the market goes down, you're taking money out. It could be even worse than a 8% chance of outliving your money. So then they came up, they revised it, and they called it the 2.8% rule.
Is that what it was?
So if you got $1 million, you can take $28,000 out a year and you got a 92% chance.
Imagine working your whole life, saving up that $1 million nest
Even 40, a 4% rule is only $40,000. So the strategies we employ give you about 40 to 60% more with a 100% chance of not outliving your money.
I love it. That's so
Lifetime income planning. So instead of getting $40,000, you get $60,000, and you got a 100% chance of never having a problem.
See, you take the worry out and you get more.
Taking the worry out of living in retirement.
That's a great.
One thing you don't want to be worried about in retirement is where the money's going to come from. You worked all your life to put this money away. Don't have someone take it away from you or outspend it. And so you can try to do it yourself, folks, but the do-it-yourselfer model never works. And a lot of times we're going to have the first 10 years or 20 years of retirement. That's when we're going to be in the go-go years still. Yes. We can go do all the fun things. So you don't want to say, well, I don't know if I can afford it or not. And don't take vacations until you're 80 or 90, because then you might not be able to do it anymore.
That's very good.
So our planning enables you to start right away. We encourage you every year to go take a vacation, spend that money, because if not, you're going to build a bunch of money up. You're going to leave your kids. And guess what? They're going to take vacations. You take your vacation. So we make you take vacations. That's the way my planner's mean. He makes me go on vacations. Yeah. But again, it's all about understanding the taxes in there and making sure you understand the withdrawal strategies. And we can put together a total income plan for you that has 100% certainty of never having problems. All you have to do is call the number you see on the screen. There's no cost or obligation for this. We offer it every single week on our radio show. You can get it now, and I really think it makes sense, especially after reading this book. You know that you need to be in control, and we can put you in control.
You absolutely can. Folks, call Coach Pete and his fiduciary team at Capital Financial today. I love it. You said the word twice there, Coach, understanding. Yeah. It's so key, folks. Gain that understanding in your retirement plan. It'll lead to confidence, security. Call now, and we will be back with you shortly for the next chapter, Chapter 4.
A successful retirement is your championship. Let Coach Pete design your customized income game plan today.
So how do you handle this wealth transfer?
Yeah, it's tough because that's where the fights start. Yeah. I mean, the most friendliest families ever aren't friendly anymore when mom or dad passes away, or when the second of the two passes away, especially. Do it ahead of time. Again, it comes back to the little green book of life. As you as the person, you can write in here who you want to get things, and then why, and then they also do a trust or will to back this up. I like trust better than will because a trust is pretty concrete, and a will's an invitation to probate, and a trust is a bypass probate. But this is what you do. You fill this out, then you bring this into an attorney, or go online and do your own trust. We've got a program that does it a lot cheaper than attorneys do, and then they have attorneys behind the scenes. But this little green book of life is step one. Put your desires down and make sure people don't fight, because we don't have pyramids anymore, Tom. They don't bury you with all your goods.
Welcome back into the next episode of Tax Savvy Retirement. I'm Thomas Lipscomb alongside best-selling author Coach Pete D'Arruda. We are covering Chapter 4 today. It is Tax Bracket Management Strategies. This sounds interesting to me. One thing I do know is there are tax brackets, and you don't necessarily want to creep too far into those. Is it hard to do, though, in retirement because you've got RMDs and all these different things that are,
One of the things that people get worried about is they say, gosh, I don't want to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. That means you're making a lot of money.
Okay.
And so here's what you shouldn't worry about. Now, we have these tax brackets, you make a certain amount, but there are some ways. Let's say you have a great stock and it's done really well, and so you have a big gain. So you're going to have capital gains tax on that when you take it out. Long term, which is good. You want long-term capital gains tax, not short-term. Short-term's a lot more.
Yes.
It's whatever income tax. $10,000 gain you just made, you equaled that out. Now you're still in the low tax bracket.
I like that.
So there's a lot of creative ways. And so don't despair, but get a planner who's been there before and understands the tools and techniques to help you look ahead in the tax code to protect your behind from the tax man.
Very important
So
to
we do that. It's fun, folks. It's fun. When we turn the tables on the tax man, it gets really fun, Thomas, because it's a lot of fun to tell the tax man, well, I know you're not getting more tax this year from me. Matter of fact, you're going to give me money back or something like that.
I love it.
So it's about using what's available to you to put you in control. It's called tax arbitrage, and we do that every single day. 100% legal, using the rules as they exist to put you ahead of the game.
Fantastic. Folks, contact Coach Pete's team at Capital Financial today. Starts with a 22-step process. All of this is behind the scenes for you. We try to make it easy.
And there's no cost.
No, there's no, which, by the way, is such an incredible, even you offer this even as a second opinion review. And the power behind
Get a second opinion first, and then we'll tell you if you really need to get a new plan. Many times we say, hey, everything you're doing is fine. That gives you that peace of mind. We're not here to sell something. We're here to make sure you're in control.
That right there is the power of fiduciary, folks.
Miss Jana. Now, what about the divorce? Miss Jana. Now, what about the divorce, Coachy? What if we get divorced with our money?
It was old Eddie Murphy comedy routine. He said half the money's going to all change. I mean, look, even our world changes because we have 7 continents now, and they used to be one big piece of land.
Yeah,
they're constantly separated from each other, aren't they, Jana? And so we all are. There's gravitational pull pulling us different ways, and so compromise it gets more and more valuable and important as we get further into marriage.
And if you can't change together, if you can't, grow, then all of a sudden you are facing that separation or divorce. But even further than that, what if your spouse is hiding stuff from you, debt that you don't know about?
That happens a lot.
And it looms over you when they pass away, and you're like, how am I going to support the household? How am I going to do all this?
Well, even if they haven't passed away yet, maybe you wish they did. Sometimes you start getting these collector mail all the time, like you owe this, or calls at night.
That's a whole nother episode.
You know, back in the day when we had one phone at home, remember one phone at home was on the wall? And the debt collector would call. Well, if the debt collector was calling, then you could hear it because you could hear the conversation. Now we got these little cell phone things, and nobody really knows what's going on in here. We have our own private worlds. I mean, everybody has their own private world now, and so. It makes it a whole lot easier to cheat if you want to, I guess, doesn't it?
I suppose,
And so, and it makes it a whole lot easier to cheat, meaning spend a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah, and so when debt collectors are calling you on your phone, here, they're not calling it a hallway phone anymore. My dad used to, we weren't allowed to talk to girls when I was growing up because Dad was a college professor. He said girls were almost like Bobby Boucher would say, the devil.
Oh my gosh.
And so Dad would get mad at us, because he said, you should be studying. That's what he always say. So we had one phone, and so we had to make the conversations very short. And to this day, I don't like talking on the phone because I never really talked on the phone.
Yeah. Do you recommend prenup?
I recommend having a conversation about it.
Okay.
Because that's something that, financially, makes a whole lot of sense. Emotionally, it's that's a minefield.
It could be. It could really separate you initially, like even before the wedding happens. If I want to get a prenup, but
what have you been thinking about this?
Well, I was married before.
Yep.
So
who hasn't been these days?
Yeah.
Jana's only married.
Still working on my first marriage.
And he had a lot of Bitcoin that I didn't know about.
Wow.
And he was actually buying a lot of Bitcoin with our money, joint money. So I'm like, what you know, it was shocking to me to know about that when we got divorced. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, have the hard conversations now, because then you find out, hey, are you compatible or not? Because if you're not willing to go through the hard conversation just to sit down face to face, if you're not grown up enough for that, then red flag. Yeah. So I guess that's the red flag.
The Bitcoin's
for me,
interesting. I assume they found that on the forensic accounting dive into there. Yeah, saying, where did this money go? Because he thought he was being all sneaky, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well,
did you get half the Bitcoin?
I don't want to say exactly, but we had a lot of money in our real estate too. Nashville was up like a crazy amount, so that was nice. But I just didn't know the depths of all of it. And the forensic accounting is expensive.
Yeah, they make some money now.
That is. So know that. Know before you get married. And I don't know if I want to get a prenup. I feel like I trust Ryan 100%. But if you get married without a prenup, is what you have before you get married yours?
Yeah, if you get married without a prenup, usually, if you bring it into the wedding, marriage, it should be yours. But again, I would outline it. It doesn't have to be a prenup, and I'm not an attorney, by the way.
Yeah.
But I would write down type something out saying, you know, we're entering this marriage at this date, and before I met you, I accumulated this. So I'm bringing this in, and you had this, and you're bringing this into the marriage. If we leave each other in the future, divorce, then we should both leave with this without these being disturbed by each other. In other words, whatever I bring, I should leave with. But if you put it in writing and you both sign it and get it, I'm a notary, I can notarize for you. Get it notarized. It would be better than not having anything, right, Jackie? I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Again, I'm not an attorney. But,
absolutely.
You know, money causes more arguments than anything by about 10 to 1. Yeah, well, a lot of times your husband has made more money than you have over the years. It's not your fault. It's just what the world has done. So
a lot of women take time off to have kids, and they have many years of not earning.
There's 2 parts. So remind me the second part. Okay. It's about divorce. Remind me that in a minute. Okay. But this is like, if you're married to your husband, and you're still, and you're retiring, or you want to start taking Social Security, you may be able to take your husband's portion. It may be more than yours before you activate yours. So that's a big one.
That's a huge one.
It's a big one.
So it's best to get in to talk to a planner.
Get a claiming strategy, anytime. I mean, I think it's good to have a financial advisor on call anyway, but I mean, once a year you should meet with your advisor and go through what changed in a year.
Sure.
Well, this is a big change when you get ready to retire, so then there's the need for a big meeting. If you don't have an advisor yet, sort of like not going to the dentist for years and years and years, and your tooth is starting to hurt.
Oh, boy.
Well, getting close to retirement, just picture your financial teeth are starting to hurt, and you need to go meet with them. And I promise we're not going to do any drilling.
Good. That's good. Boy, do I wish I would have known this stuff when I was married, because I got divorced during the CDs, with splitting up the CD. Oh my goodness, you guys.
But if you've gone through a divorce,
we married more than 10 years.
Yes.
We'll be able to enact that strategy then down the road.
Fine. Works for me.
Jackie's making notes. But if you've been through a divorce, you're probably already sensitive. You know, it's probably hell to go through one. If somebody needs to simplify things, will you do this for them?
Yeah. Yeah, we break it down.
If I just say, "Hey, I like what you said, do it," I don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Here's what we always do. Since I've come from a family of educators, dad, college professor, mom, school teacher, I like to do it for people, but then I also like to show them how we did it, how they can do it themselves.
Nice.
Okay, and why. And always, it's one thing when somebody does something, they say, well, why do they do that? They never tell you. Like you go to the doctor's office, here, let me hit the knee. Why are you doing that, doc? Boom. My knee moves. And tell me why. But that's what we do. We tell you why we're doing things, and why should we take income from the regular IRA before the Roth IRA, or why should we get life insurance because it has a long-term care rider on it? You know, life insurance is something everybody has, but a lot of people have these old policies. What does that mean? Well, the new life insurance policies let you take some of your death benefit, like let's say you have $1 million life insurance policy. A lot of people have at least $1 million. You have to go to a nursing home. But you guys are gonna spend more. Well, you can't really say this, but women are gonna spend more time in long-term care facilities than Coach Pete is, because again, us guys don't live as long. But both my wife's grandmothers were in long-term care facilities for 5 years or longer.
I want a nice rest home, so I'm planning to
get that life insurance.
Buckling down.
Yeah, because long-term care insurance is way overpriced, and it's nowhere near as good as having a life insurance policy, which you need anyway. They can never raise the rates on you. They can never kick you out, and it's always there. It's a permanent policy. It doesn't go away once you get it, and it doesn't have a rate increase. That's beautiful.
So the Gallup reports that 61% of Americans fear outliving their income is worse than dying early.
It is. And so I wrote about this. I've got a pocketbook series. So 6 different books like this. This is number 4. This is tactics. And one of the tactics is to make sure that you have an account set up, or 2 or 3 accounts that are going to make sure to give you that financial fill-up strategy. It's one thing to ask a broker, hey, is my retirement safe? And of course, they're going to say yes, because they don't want your money to leave. If your money leaves, so does their commissions or their money under management fee. So we need to have some of our money that's isolated from financial termites, I call them. Those are unnecessary risk, fees, and commissions coming out of your accounts. And we could do that with the insurance industry as step forward to give you lifetime guaranteed income accounts. And if you don't have one, you really need one, Tom.
Welcome back into Annuity Avenue, folks. Coach Pete here. I've got Mr. Greg Berrien with me, one of my advisors. Works really hard to make sure people are happy, not only today, tomorrow, but we're in the same hat. It's the same hat, but it's a different kind of draw. We have lump sums in there. So what kind of lump sum did you draw out, Greg?
Well, what we drew out was
any income other than that. And we've got the evil eye. And the evil eye doesn't stand for income. It stands for inflation. Inflation is beating the heck out of it. It's making Swiss cheese out of your big piece of cheese. It's now got a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah.
So we need to stop the holes. We need to get rid of those financial moths. They make holes. I've never had that happen to me, but that's why people put mothballs. So we got some financial mothballs we sprinkle around, and we make sure to put this money in a safe place. So go over to the whiteboard now. Let's write down let's go through the numbers.
All right.
So in that blue box, you're going to write down the age 70.
All right, she's 70 years old.
Single lady.
Single.
And we drew $500,000 out, right?
$500,000.
So Greg, your job, if you decide to accept it today, is to show us how that $500,000 can be in a safe place and give her a lifetime income.
Guaranteed.
Do you accept that?
Coach, I accept your challenge.
Oh, yeah? All right, Greg. Now, again, this is a very valuable challenge you're taking on, because a lot of folks watching probably have $500,000, probably have a lot of widows watching. We do have a lot of people watching each week. By the way, folks, if you like what you're watching, like it on the screen there where you can do the thumbs up, and also share with your friends, because a lot of your friends probably could use this information too. So, all right, Greg, 70-year-old, single, widow, $500,000. Right now, it's all in the red bucket, which means it could go down, down, down. It could go up, up, up. There's no floor between what she can make and what she can lose, right?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so what this lady is looking for is absolute security, knowing that she's going to be able to create that pension, so to speak, that money that's going to come to her every single month, Coach. Every single month it's going to land in her checking account, even have the taxes taken out for it, because it is an IRA money.
Now, you and I are not negative people, but we have to do this every single example we do. We have to show you, what if you moved your money over into our place here, the example we're showing, and every single day for the rest of your life, for the next 30, 40, 50 years, there was not one single up market. It was down, 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 down. Now, the chances of that happening are slim to none, but it still could. Right? So we have to show you everything. So if the market went down, 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 she would not get any return whatsoever. She would get a zero, though. Now, if you had the money still in the red bucket, she would probably run out of money. She would have a zero there, too. She would have lost. We need to make sure that your spouse gets that same income. And then when we pass away, we need to make sure our next of kin gets whatever's left.
And 4% is not going to help her make her income gap. Here's what this company is going to do.
Okay.
They're going to give her money at a rate of 6.65%. Guaranteed the rest of her life. It's crazy.
We're talking about the zero, the first, Greg.
Right, no, they're going to give her 6.65% of the $500,000. So here's the thing, Coach. She's going to get annually, every year, for the rest of her life, $33,250. That's even if the market were to collapse for the rest of her life.
Zero. So could she ever run out of that money?
She'll never stop getting her income.
So she gets to be 130 years old because she still gets the income.
She'll keep getting that money.
All right, that's pretty neat.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's because if she had her money in the red bucket, like she does right now, before she puts the money in the green bucket, she'd lose her money. She wouldn't have any money. She would probably not have income after 5 or 6 years in the retirement.
It'd be gone.
Especially if the market's going down every single year, and that's what we're showing here. Now, we're not negative, are we?
No. Gotcha.
What if the market did something better than zero every single year, which chances are it probably will? How can we show people that? Can we go back the last 10 years and show them what the strategy did over the last 10 years, or how do you like to do that?
What we're going to do is we're going to go on the assumption that it's going to maintain what it's done over the past 10 years.
Okay, and what was that number?
All righty. And so what's going to happen is the amount of money she's going to get is going to go up every single year.
Yep.
The next
Increasing
year,
income then.
This
is 25 years from when she started.
Yep.
What's the average life expectancy right now for a female?
Around 80 years old.
80?
78 to 80 is the average lifespan.
We're going to show her living longer.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, she could live to be 120, 130, 140. The income would still come to her. She'd never run out of it. But, all right, this example, she passed away at age 95 after having it 25 years. How much money did she take in that 25 years?
I need a lot of ink here. 1 million.
That's why I had you switch pens.
400. And when she runs out of money.
All right, let's say the market doesn't go up. She still gets money. She just doesn't get increasing money. She just doesn't get increasing money.
Let's say it was here, then the market stopped going up.
Yeah,
she
so
keeps getting at 34,000.
So whatever your balance, whatever the income is the year before, when the market did have a positive return, the next year the market has a negative return, so you get a zero. Yeah. You still get the amount you got the year before.
By the way, Coach, according to this, if she tops out before she runs out of money, she'll be getting $62,000.
When you say tops out, what do you, is that would
the
be
most she'll ever get?
Okay, $62,000.
$62,156.
And she started with $33,000 as income, so she almost doubled that income with no risk. See, folks, that's the magic here. We're not talking about pie in the sky. We're not talking about, hey, you got to invest in crypto or bet on the racehorse that's the underdog. No, we're saying do the safest strategy that we like out here. We're independent, so we'll go search around all the different financial institutions and insurance companies and find the best fits what you and your family are looking for. And I really like this. This would get my stamp of approval all day long, because even at the zero scenario, she's still making money. But if we have an increasing market, she's going to share in that gain, and she's going to be very happy. So, folks, if you like this example, make sure to like it here on the screen. If you want to have one customized for you and your family, which, Greg, why wouldn't somebody want to have this in writing? Folks, will show you what your own numbers would look like based on your true ages and your true money. These are hypotheticals we do here because we don't know what people have. So we take guesses by reaching in our jar, reaching in our hat, and drawing numbers out. We can do a customized example for you and your family to see where you are right now and see how soon you can retire with that income that you can't outlive. Very, very important, isn't it, Greg?
Oh, man, completely.
So, folks, you can put the money into your account before taxes. That's where you're deferring the taxes. You're going to have to pay the taxes down the road. The big problem I have here is, yes, you get a nice little deferral. You don't have to pay tax on whatever money you put in an IRA or 401k at that time. But when you take the money out, not only do you have to pay tax on what you put into the 401k or IRA, you also have to pay tax on the gain. That's an invisible tax, and that's a tax time bomb, because we have no idea. If you have a great gain, you have a great amount of taxes. That's not fun, is it? So those are the two buckets here when we talk about paycheck. Then we have a tax-free bucket. That's if your employer, a lot of times, they'll offer you a Roth IRA option. So the Roth IRA, you can put the money into Roth, but you can't deduct it from your tax return. In other words, if you put $3,000 into a regular IRA, you could deduct your taxable income by $3,000. So $60,000 salary down to $57,000 salary for tax purposes. But if you put that money in a Roth, the $60,000 salary, you still owe $60,000. You still have to pay tax on $60,000. But the beauty of the Roth is now it builds and builds and builds, and when you take the money out, you don't pay tax on any of it. Not the money you put in and not the gain. So big thing. So putting money into that Roth IRA is sort of like being a farmer and you're sitting on your farm one day and you see a big IRS vehicle, one of those black SUVs, the big government employees get out, four of them get out with their sunglasses on, look like Will Smith should be a Men in Black kind of guys. And they say, we're from the IRS. We're going to give you an offer that you have to decide today. We're going to honor it forever. We're either going to tax you on the seeds you're putting in the ground today, and we're never going to come back at harvest time. Year after year, we're not going to appear. We're never going to tax you on the harvest. Or we'll leave you alone today. Matter of fact, we'll give you a break today. We're not going to tax you on the seeds, but we're going to come back every year at harvest time, and we're going to tax you on everything you've gained from that harvest. Which choice would you do? The Roth IRA. You pay the guys one time, you pay the tax, you never have to see them again. Now, those are the three tax qualifications. And then we have tax-free times 2. That's utilizing the life insurance industry, who has special provisions built into the IRS code to give you tax-free income, tax-free death benefit, and in many cases, tax-free long-term care payments. That's a life insurance policy. Specialized life insurance they're not all the same, folks. So if you have a current life insurance policy, get that reviewed to make sure you have that tax-free times 2 that has those 3 main benefits: tax-free income, tax-free death, but most importantly, tax-free long-term care. You can use some of your death benefit. Let's say you have $1 million policy, and you have to go to a nursing home. You need $80,000. You call the life insurance company, say, I'd like to take $80,000 out of my $1 million death benefit. Please send it to me. Don't tax it because it's tax-free. I'm going to use that to pay for my nursing home. Folks, you don't need a long-term care policy anymore if you have these specialized tax-free ×2 accounts. Learn about it, if nothing else.
You and your financial advisor should be exploring how diversifying across these 4 tax buckets can impact your overall financial strategy. Spreading your assets among different tax treatments can help manage risk and potentially improve your long-term outcomes.
Knowing the 4 tax buckets is important. Diversifying amongst them, using them in other words, very important. Tired. You've got this great amount in your IRA. We can give you a monthly or yearly income from this IRA. The only problem is you're going to pay tax and your long-term care plan. So all these 4 buckets together give you the total financial plan and keeps retirement worry-free forever, not only for you, but your spouse and your next of kin who will inherit a tax-free windfall. You've had a great life. Your goal was to make sure your kids and grandkids were fine after you. You did, but you want to make sure you had a great life, so we call it a spend and leave plan. You start with a certain amount of money in a lump sum in all these 4 accounts, and the goal is for you to have a great life and your spouse to have a great life, but when you pass away, an amount equal to or greater than you started with will pass on to your children and grandchildren tax-free. That's using true diversification, not only in the market, but in the tax code.
Understanding these tax buckets is a key element in crafting a smart, tax-efficient strategy for your retirement and investments. If you're looking for tailored advice on managing your tax strategy and enhancing your financial plan, our team is here to help. Coach Pete and the team at Capital Financial are ready to offer tips and strategies to get you where you want to be in retirement. Take advantage of the no-cost, no-obligation financial review to understand the ins and outs of your retirement plan. A customized plan based on your wants and needs. Contact us today. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more retirement help.
Invest in these meme coins unless you have a strategy to get in and get out real quick. Don't sit around when it goes up a little bit with your calculator saying, well, if it goes up to this amount, I'm going to be a multi-trillionaire.
Yes.
Of course, it's never going to get there and you're going to lose all your money. So if you've doubled your initial investment, sell half of what you put in, and now you're playing with the bookies money, we call it, because you've got all the money you invested back.
There you go.
It's a whole lot easier to hold something long-term, Bruce, when it's not really costing you.
What can happen if you miss a required minimum distribution? If you know the answer to this question, you could receive a free copy in the mail of one of Coach Pete D'Arruda's latest best-selling books. Isn't that right, Coach?
Oh, yeah. We've got 2 books. Now, my newest book is Tax Savvy Retirement. It's over 200 pages of how to put you in control of the tax man before, during, and after retirement. And the big book on retirement, over 300 pages, diagramming how to get to and through retirement in the best possible position. So you'll get your choice of one of these 2 books if you answer the trivia question correctly. And Thomas, it's a multiple choice question too.
It is. All right, here are your options. What can happen if you miss an RMD? A, you get bonus interest. B, you have a 50% penalty. C, you get a Roth conversion. Or D, a tax-free withdrawal. There are some of these that you may wish it was, and there are some of these that it actually is. Let's do this.
Yeah, so all you have to do is give us your answer. You see the way to do that is to call the number you see on the screen or text, and we will give the correct winners their choice of the books.
You know, I tell people all the time, you're not getting any younger. You don't get to take any of it with you.
Right.
And if you think about that, it means you are supposed to spend money. But there's a lot of people who can't go into their assets to spend. They just, because, well, what if I need it? What if I live too long? What if? And so then they end up living this suboptimal retirement. And if they can get these streams of income that they can feel confident in spending, they can actually have a better retirement.
Yeah, we call it a financial fill-up strategy. And if you remember back in the day, you'd go to the gas station, you'd go to the pump, and you'd go over a thing, it would go ding, ding. And they would run out. Back in the day, they'd run out and they'd change the oil, they'd check the oil for you, they'd clean the windshields, and they'd fill your car up. Why can't we have that in retirement? Why can't we pull into us or have it automatically sent to us a check every year? Have that financial fill-up strategy put you in financial cruise control.
Welcome into our series on the Big Book on Retirement. Consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here with you alongside Coach Pete Deruta, President, Founding Principal of Capital Financial, America's Wealth, Financial and Income Coach. And one other thing, among many things I'm leaving off the table, the author of the book that we're discussing right now.
Yeah.
So
Big Book on Retirement.
The Big Book on Retirement. Yeah. So we are looking at devising a playbook in Chapter 3, Coach. So we've talked about picking the right coach and just making sure that we know what's going on when it comes to rules. But what about this playbook?
A playbook is another word for a plan.
Okay.
And so we have a financial playbook for all our clients. They know exactly what kind of income they can get. We know ahead of time what they're going to want to do in retirement a lot of times, and then we can put a price to that.
Yeah.
And so then we can make a playbook. So when you get to a certain age of retirement, you're going to retire, and then you can be able to start playing. So it really is a playbook, isn't it?
I like that, yeah.
But it's. I've seen so many people who didn't have a playbook hit retirement and had no clue how much they could spend without worrying about outliving money.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have any fun because they were worried about spending too much, but they could have spent a whole lot more if they just had that simple playbook put together. So if you don't have a playbook, now's a good time to do it.
It absolutely is. And this playbook carries so many aspects. I mean, I was just flipping through the chapter here a little bit. It goes into long-term care planning and healthcare planning, mitigating wills and trusts and all the different elements. It all goes into the book, doesn't it? The plan.
If you don't have a will or trust, you really need to get one. I've had some deaths in my family. My wife has as well. We've had people die, relatives way far away from us on my wife's side died without a will. And that was a big process, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so get a trust or will. If you move to a different state and you already have a will or trust, make sure you get it updated to the state you're in. We have a special program we use for our clients. When you move, we just update the state, and it automatically updates your estate planning documents. So you don't have to worry about paying an attorney. It's already done it for you.
Wow.
You may have to get them re-notarized. That's easy. You don't have to pay another attorney over and over again, so that's good.
There you go.
Long-term care, big issue. A lot of folks are saying, gosh, I can't afford a long-term care policy, or I've heard so many bad things about long-term care policies.
Yep.
The life insurance industry about 5 years ago stepped up, and now they give you the ability to reach into your life insurance death benefit while you're still living and have that money pay for your long-term care. So let's say you have a $1 million life insurance policy and you have to go to a long-term care facility. You need $100,000 for that for 1 year.
Yeah.
You call the life insurance company up and say, hey, I've got to go to a long-term care facility. I need $100,000 out of my death benefit of $1 million. Send it to me, and they do tax-free.
Wow.
So you could technically do that 10 years, $100,000 a year. Your insurance will be gone, but it's served its purpose. It's helped you. And life insurance used to be for when you die. Now it's for the living. So if you haven't had that explained, or if you have a life insurance policy that doesn't have that in there, sometimes it's more affordable to get the new policy with the long-term care than it is to have the current policy. So let's get a review of that and make sure you're in control. What we've always done for 32 years, I put my clients in control of the money world instead of paying attention or not having to worry about paying attention or being beholden to whatever the money world says. Now you are paying attention without even having to, because you got Coach Pete looking out for you.
Yes.
Putting you in control of the money world. So that's what the whole chapter is about. The whole book is about too. But it's all about our premise about meeting with us so we put you in control instead of you being in the back seat. Now you're in the front seat.
Exactly.
So call and get your free review, folks.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, folks. Call, text, however you'd like to connect with us. You see the options there on the screen. We'd be honored to sit down with you. Coach, you have an amazing team of fiduciary planners.
Put everything
here
in writing too, folks. There's no surprises because everything is in writing.
It's true.
Very important, by the way.
It's true. Folks, this has been Chapter 3. Stay tuned. Chapter 4 is right around the corner.
Thomas, what do we do on our show?
We define our terms.
Yes. What is CES?
Oh, please don't. Joe, can you help me?
Consumer Electronics Show, Thomas.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Consumer Electronics Show, where they show all the neat stuff that's coming up that you can't afford.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, how was the event? Was it worthwhile attending?
The event was eye-opening, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Saw a lot of cool stuff. I mean, just like you said, stuff that's not available yet but is coming. And got to play with a few gadgets, and some of the things. And of course, I won't get into it just yet. But some of the stuff that I just walked out of the SEC or CES show and said, you know what? I understand AI now much better.
Yeah, right now it's just basically a Google on steroids. is what AI is for most people. But what do you see AI becoming here in the next, let's say, 5 years and a decade?
Well, I see it really being a game changer. When you look back at the internet, and when the internet came out, it gave such usability. It gave companies a way to scale, and you see companies today coming online. I kind of like to look at it like Starbucks. Those are what I call atom companies. Those are companies that have to have thousands of stores to service millions of customers, right? Mm-hmm. Well, today, AI, you're able to deploy very, very sophisticated software using a cloud base, and companies are able to scale like nothing you've ever seen. I mean, they can go to these billion-dollar valuations literally in a very, very short period of time. And just to hear about what AI is becoming and what it is, it just opened my eyes. This year was fantastic.
So when you're a startup company, one of the main problems is finding enough people to help you get to become a big company. So I think AI can eliminate that need for a lot of employees, can it?
Absolutely. And when you look at what the trajectory of AI, and of course I'm guilty of just using it for, like you said, Google on steroids, going to ChatGPT and asking, can you reword this letter for me? And that's just the way I've used it, but there's so much more application when it comes to AI.
So who are the big who had the biggest booth there at the CES?
I would say NVIDIA probably had the biggest display. They had all of their robots and cars, and probably the most interesting thing that I saw, which I saw a lot of interesting things, was the Tensor. I don't know if you've heard of that name before, but Tensor has a robo-car that you're going to be able to buy, and this is an autonomous agentech type of AI that basically the steering wheel disappears, the foot pedals disappear, and this thing takes you to where you're going. And it was absolutely mind-boggling to watch this. It was just like out of a sci-fi movie. It was crazy.
So do you get in the car and you see the steering wheel and the gas pedals and they disappear in front of you, or you mean they're not even there to begin with?
No, they're there. You can drive.
Oh.
But then when the car takes over, the steering wheel pulls into the dashboard, a screen goes over, the pedals disappear into the floor. And that way the driver you can't do anything. You just sit back and enjoy.
Keeps user error from happening.
That reminds me of the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, and the police were coming after him, and the whole car basically could shut itself down.
Exactly it, right.
Did they have rides available in that car, or was it just a display?
They had it displayed in the Fontainebleau Hotel, and I'm sure at some point, certain folks probably could take a test ride, and but it wasn't there for me to do the test ride. I'd love to have done it, but it was in the hotel. You could get in it. You could check it all out. It was amazing.
Yeah. Now, NVIDIA had probably a big display too, right? Because they're a big AI company with the chips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had, some of their servers out there. They had some of their robots. They had some video of futuristic goals that they're pressing toward, and just a huge display.
What really surprised you, like you weren't expecting to see at CES this year?
Obviously AI was going to be there, no doubt.
Yep.
But probably the thing that it